G'day, welcome to another video. I've got something a little bit different to what I usually have to show you today for review. It's an M&P 9 Pro Series. So I've got a safety doodly thing in there, take that out. So we all know the gun's safe and you can't get hit in the internet world anyway. So story with this gun is it belongs to a friend of mine's wife and I saw her shooting it. I've never seen one in the flesh before. I've only seen them on the internet and magazines and stuff like that, and honestly on the net and stuff it doesn't look very good, and in real life it's slightly more handsome. It's not a beautiful gun, but it's slightly more handsome, and I thought, oh, I'd like to do that for review, and she's kindly given it to me to try out and review. I'll just go quickly through what you get in the box and what you can expect to get in the package with it. So you get the gun itself, striker fired, just under 5-inch barrel. You'll get a fibre optic front sight, only windage adjustment rear sight, and you'll also get in the box, you get two different back straps which are fairly easy to remove and interchange. You get a small one, medium and large. I've put the large on there. You get the normal gun lock, trigger lock, action lock, and two 10-shot magazines which have got floor plates that are removable. So this would be legal in New South Wales and most states because it's not a crimped magazine. I'll just go through the gun itself. So it's a basic semi-auto handgun. There's nothing unusual about the way it is. It points fairly nice. I've got the large grip panel on it here. The ergonomics of the way the gun feels. Now, I'm not going to say I'm a polymer shooting guru. I've had two polymer guns in the past. I haven't kept them. It is a fairly light gun. It's all made to a cost, and I can understand the market for this in the States is a concealed carry market. We don't do such things in Australia. For the most part, people who own guns in Australia are target shooters, competition shooters. There might be a small element of Australians who carry them for security reasons, but not many. So for concealed carry, it's not something to consider in Australia. The grip module itself, I don't love the way the grip feels. In fact, it's sort of one of those things that I could see would be good for stippling or good for undercutting, especially just here. So they've got a texture on the front of the grip that rides all the way up to under the trigger, and you can actually feel it rubbing on your hand as you shoot. It's got a slim profile at the front, and when you put the large swell on, it swells out the back of the grip in this part of your hand where it should be slightly lower, I feel. So interchangeable grip module is good. It puts your finger further back from the trigger, so you're using the well of your trigger, but it doesn't feel overly comfortable with the large. So that's something to consider if you're looking at this. The other thing to consider is the trigger on this is terrible, like really, really bad. And I don't understand why it would be so bad, because it's got a safety built into it. It's got a little tiny trigger dingus that would stop you ever pulling the trigger unless you wanted to. But from my pull tests, we've got 5.5 to 6.5 pound trigger here, and it's going to take a lot of training for a lot of people to get past that shake, and it's everything a trigger shouldn't be. Like, yes, I might be a bit of a trigger snob, 1911s and 226s, but in this day and age you should be able to make a fairly good trigger. So I'll just give you an example of how it works. We've got sponge all the way to there, sponge all the way to the wall, you're just squeezing a sea cucumber. Then you've hit the wall, and it's still spongy at the wall, and then it goes off. So I know there's aftermarket triggers, and that's probably a good argument if you're going to get competing with this, but depending on what category and what competition you're doing, you might not be able to put an aftermarket trigger in this without putting yourself in a different category of gun. So the sights themselves, you've got a fibre optic. See if I can get that on camera. Let's come around this side of the camera. You've got a fibre optic front there, and it fills it out pretty well. Sorry, I got it at the wrong distance. So the sights themselves are fine, but the trigger is the real killer for me. I'm so surprised in this day and age, especially when you've got already a safety mechanism built into it, that they're still putting out a trigger that is so heavy and so bad. So for me, that's been a real cruncher. I'm going to go some footage on the range. I've got some different ammo to try out for accuracy wise, and I'll try a little bit of, I'm not a speed shooter, but I'll try some quick target shooting and see how I go. But I'll give you more review after that. But so far, gun's a good package. It comes with a lockable case, and these days, if you're like me and you've got kids and families and mortgages, you want your gun to come with more things for free. So the fact that it comes with a case you can use and lock and 2 magazines. Yes, ideally, I know for most of the sports we do, we need 4 to 6 mags, but at least you get something extra with it. I'll have to find out what these are selling for. I'm not sure at the moment. I know that the lady who owns it didn't really want to keep it, and she went to a gun shop to sell it, and they only offered her about $500 for it. So the second-hand selling market for this is certainly where to catch one if you wanted it. But no, so I'll show you some footage of me shooting it, and we'll give some final impressions. That was that American Forge stuff. So what's that? 1, 2, 3, 4 on the target. I think this is me too. 5, 6, 7. I'm not sure where the others have gone. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Maybe 9. Yeah, pretty average group. If you went between that, that's probably 10 inches. Probably do a little bit better if I had a rest, but yeah, it's a good indication of what it's doing. I'll go to the next demo. Okay, that was with the Browning, 115 grain. Okay, I'll admit I probably pulled that one, but that's a bit more of an encouraging group, honestly. Called this my fault and my fault. That's a 3-inch group. So that's 1, 2, 3, yep. 3 squares-ish, 4 squares-ish. So yeah, that's not a bad group. For off a bench with hardly any rest, so yeah, encouraging. So here's the 124 Syntec. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now, I know I at least pulled 2 of those. The trigger is just so heavy, I'm trying my best. But if we just called this the main group, and we blame this on me, that's a fairly good group. It's a probably 2.5-inch group, 25 meters, maybe just under 3. G'day, just want to do a quick summary of what I found with the Smith & Wesson M&P Pro. This is it here. Basically, I'll just give you a quick wrap up of my thoughts, and hopefully that'll help someone in their decision in the future. Now, the accuracy on this, the best I got was 3 to 4 inches at 25 yards. That was off a bench, not on a rest, so you could probably do a little bit better. The best I had it was with the Browning 115 grain full metal jackets and the Federal Syntec 125s. Now, I didn't bother with reloads. There's no powder in the country. The main powder imports in Australia are just not wanting to bring it in, or there's just too much of a shortage in the States, and that's resulting in us getting nothing. So yeah, I wasn't going to muck around with reloads. I think we're all going to be using factory for a while, and you've got to find cheap factory ammo, and a gun that can run cheap factory ammo might be a good thing. I felt the quality was good. Nothing about this made me feel it was cheap. Nothing about this made me think, oh, I wish they would have made this more solid or this. It all feels solid. It feels well made. Smith & Wesson are known for making fairly solid, robust guns, and this is meant for a concealed carry market, so I think it suits that well. Now, that's to say, I still didn't like the trigger. I still didn't like the way the grip felt for me. For some reason, it just feels like it swells in just the wrong place here, like this backwards swelling here. I just wish it was a little bit further forward, because as you squeeze, it actually leaves a hollow where your hand hollows out just there. So if this was just, if this lump here, which is very hard to see, was just 1 centimetre further forward, it would fill your hand out much better, but that's the way they've done it. It's not great. It is a gun made for concealed carry. It's not meant for our market, the competition pistol market as such. Now, I know there's better shooters in the USA who are using this well, and they're having good luck with it, and they could probably outshoot me any day of the week. But for what I feel with it, I just feel like it's better off in the concealed carry market. It would be good as a training pistol, I suppose, because it would stop anyone from accidentally pulling the trigger unless they really had to or really were intending to. But I still think if you're going to train someone with pistols, start off with a 22, then work up to 9mm. The other thing with this is there's plenty of aftermarket support. You can get magazine wells, you can get triggers, you can get barrels, you can get compensators, you can get better sights. So if you're someone who wants to buy this and turn it into your gun, your tricked up own gun, that might be a cool option. But I think if you're going to spend $1,500 on this, I've just been on the net, I've done a little bit of research about what's available. Just to give something to compare it to, the Walther PDP, that's $1,600 on the net right now. This is June 2023. That comes with an optics cut. That comes with a fairly good trigger. It's about a pound lighter than this, but it's a crisper trigger. I've felt them in the shop. The Canic Rival, they're $1,300 right now. Their trigger is amazing straight out of the box. Now, anyone who's watched any of my other videos knows I have no luck with Turkish guns, but I will say I'd take a chance on a Canic over this. The other gun that I would pick over this, which I've had a little bit more to do with in the past, is CZ-P10. Now the P10, I'm seeing them retailing for $1,400, but they come up for sale at Cleavers every now and again for $700. Now, if you compare this, if you walked into a shop and compared this trigger with the P210, the Canics, the Walthers, you wouldn't pick this trigger. But there is hope. There is a Smith & Wesson M&P. Well, there's about 25 different M&Ps, but there's one that's a 2.0, and apparently they fixed the trigger up, so it's not just me finding this to be terrible. So there's my final thoughts. If you want a reliable gun, yes, it's that. If you want a gun that's simple, easy to maintain, easy to strip, you will find every part you need for it. There's a market for that there. But I think if you're in the game purely to be competitive and just to find out for yourself how good you can be, I don't think this pistol is going to take you there. I think there'll be better options for just a little bit more money or the same money that you'll get further down the track with than this. So I hope this helps someone in their decision. That's why I make these videos, just to inform people, find out, just share knowledge. But yeah, all right, hope to see you at the range.